Good morning, Paris vlog. Welcome back to day 4. Today we are about to leave for Versailles in probably about 30 minutes. So I gotta go head down to breakfast real quick, cause I kind of set my alarm late, but I'm still on track and everything. I just need to get going. So there's that, and then tonight there's gonna be a cabaret at the Moulin Rouge, and I am so excited. Because recently I got, really fixated on the Moulin Rouge movie starring, what's-his-face? Starring...
5 hours later. 2,000 years later.
Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor. Yes, starring Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor. And I have seen that movie so many times. Also, I'm just a big theater person, and so even beyond that, I'm just super excited. You know, can dancers and all that. I don't know. I guess I'll see what that entails. So, that being said, I will see you at breakfast. Oh my god, my legs are aching so bad from yesterday. I got that tart for breakfast that I had been eyeing, and then I hopped in the shuttle, sat next to my friend Lorraine, and we talked on the way to Versailles. I think even the mundane in Paris is so worth looking at, but soon enough we arrived, which you can see by the golden gates in the background here. Really hard to miss this place. So then we hopped off the shuttle, and we headed into Versailles. I mean, I was awestricken from the moment I stepped off the shuttle. Just look at the palace. How could you not be? There was just so much gold. And the fact that this was created while the majority of the French population was starving was so gross, but also in that moment I didn't mind because it was just incredible. There were so many paintings on the walls that it would be impossible to record or even process all of them. My favorite pieces were probably the ceilings, like looking up and having it be as if you're gazing into heaven. Then we approached the chapel, which you could just look into, and it was gorgeous, of course. Apparently, King Louis wore Roman attire in this piece to emphasize that he's related to the Romans who ruled France over 1,000 years ago and emphasize his divine right to rule. And this room was my favorite in the palace because on the ceiling you can just barely see Mars, the god of war, holding a shield with King Louis's face on it, which is so insane. The ego you would need to have to want that installed is absolutely unfathomable to me. By now I've entered the Hall of Mirrors, which was extremely impressive back in the day because they actually didn't have glass blowing in France, and Louis sent his guides to Venice to learn the art of it so that they could come back and install these mirrors in the palace. Then we entered Marie Antoinette's bedroom, and our tour guide pointed out, I thought it was a cool detail, on the headboard you can just barely see an M and an A, Marie Antoinette. So, you know, there's that little detail that most people probably miss. This was the coronation of Napoleon, which I was very excited to see because I had wanted to see this while I was in France. After we had wrapped up in the castle, we stepped out into the gardens. While we were out, we heard a band practicing for the Olympics, which will be held in Paris this year. We had a break for lunch, and my friend Lorraine and I ended up splitting these 2 crepes at a local creperie that our tour guide recommended us. She got savory, I got sweet, and it was a great combination. Then we departed from Versailles to see my personal favorite part of the tour, which was Marie Antoinette's giant playhouse. So essentially Marie Antoinette was curious what the life of the common man was like, so they built her a tiny village that had no one living in it. It had all these unfurnished, unused houses that only existed for the sake of having Marie Antoinette feel like she was walking around a village. It is absolutely gorgeous, but it was so much land barred off for no reason. I told my tour guide that this excursion made me understand Pierre-Joseph Proudhon and his philosophy on property, because if I lived in France around the time that this happened, I would also think that property was theft. I think this has been my favorite part of the day. This is just so beautiful. It makes sense why Marie Antoinette was so out of the loop. I thought of my grandma when I saw these lamb's ears because she introduced them to me, so love you, Grandma. I just got out of Versailles. I'm having such a good time just talking about literature surrounding French history. I just brought up Madame Defarge from A Tale of Two Cities, and yeah, Jonathan was impressed, so I've been talking about history all day, offering my own 2 cents about everything, so having a good time. Pretty soon it was time to go back to the hotel. The maid at this hotel is so nice. The first day we met, she tried to direct me in the way of my room, and there was this weird English, French barrier. We couldn't speak to each other. Anyway, she just came into my room because I got home from Versailles, and I now have this downtime before I go to the Moulin Rouge. And so she came in, and she was talking to me in French, and I didn't understand her. So we started going back and forth on Google Translate, and it was so sweet of her. Oh, she was so sweet. Pretty soon, I was all dressed and ready to go to the Moulin Rouge. I'm so running late. Oops. We hopped into the shuttle. Again, I sat next to my friend Lorraine. So, meet Lorraine. Say hi to everyone. Traffic in Paris is so insane, by the way. The way that the roads move. Oh god, I'm so glad I don't have to drive here. After sitting in so many minutes of traffic, we arrived, and it was really cool to see this place in person after having meditated on it for so long, I guess. It was a smaller theater than what I had envisioned, but it still had a very nice crowd and atmosphere.
You know why? I just want to make sure everyone.
So they then brought us out some food. There was unlimited wine and water as well, which was nice. My table and I then abandoned our inhibitions and hit the dance floor. Dessert was this delicious pistachio cake, and during this process I also made a new friend named Madison who likes musical theater, so we have something to talk about. Once the show started, I was absolutely enthused. On the way back home, I saw the Eiffel Tower lit up in the night, which made me so happy because I wasn't sure if I would be able to see it in that state, because it's so far from our hotel that I didn't know if it was practical for me to make the trip at night. Filming retroactively here because I was so tired after the Moulin Rouge that I really just needed to get to bed. But I had a phenomenal time. I had a blast. I was really impressed by the sets because honestly it was, as I said, a smaller theater than I was anticipating it to be. And the stage was also kind of small. And so they had these sets and these set changes, and I'd be like, wow, that's really impressive considering the size of this venue. So I loved Versailles, I loved the Moulin Rouge, I loved seeing the Eiffel Tower lit up in the night like that. So all in all, it was a great day and I'm happy with how it went. And I hope you enjoyed following me along for the adventure. So, thank you for watching and peace out.